Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. How is your weekend, guys? Happy Sunday. Okay, so today is March 4th, Easter. Happy Easter. Yes. Okay, so welcome back. If you're new here, I talk about the law of attraction primarily with your business. So if you're a business owner or want to be a business owner or anything like that, stay tuned. But if you're not, totally cool too, because we talk about just about everything on this podcast. We talk about life. We talk about money. We talk about happiness. Tomorrow, we're definitely going to be talking about, I think it's tomorrow. Hold on. Let me see. No, it's today. We're talking about happiness today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about lining up with desires. And I have a really great example of something that I lined up yesterday. And I have the notes. I wrote things down to line up with my desire. And then I manifested my desire a couple hours later. So that was cool. And then when I looked back at it today and I read it, I was like, oh my gosh. So I gave it to my husband to read, and I'm like, that's exactly what happened. And it was the outcome of exactly the words that I had written. I ended up saying about 5 hours later, and I forgot that I had written it. So that'll be tomorrow. I'm not going to share with you yet because it pertains to tomorrow's message. So I wrote this book called The Inspired Entrepreneur. You can find it on Amazon. I moved my microphone to a much better place. It's right in front of my face, so that's better. So my book, The Inspired Entrepreneur, is 366 days of inspiration for the business owner, basically. So it's law of attraction. It's a daily message for you. And so you can use it different ways. You can read it every day. It's a very short and sweet message. You could not read it every day, which is totally fine. And anytime that you just kind of glance at it, you can be like, hey, maybe I'll open it to a random page, and it will give you the message that you need to hear. The universe is so amazing. The universe knows what is written on every page. Oh, goodness. And knows when you need to hear it. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So anyway, let's get started. So April 4th, let's read what it says. Excuse me. Goodness. Isn't your happiness the most important? When you're happy, your point of attraction is in alignment with the things you want. See how it goes. Follow your bliss and the money will follow, and not just from your job. You just love that. Isn't your happiness the most important? So Abraham Hicks tells us that everything that we want is because we feel like we think that it's going to make us happier. And so so if the end result, emotion of something that you want will be happiness, essentially, how do you attract happiness? How do you attract it? So like attracts like. So if the end result, the outcome is of emotion for, let's say, whatever it is, let's just say it's a car, something material, it doesn't matter. So a material thing, or let's go even deeper, because I was in the shower this morning in such a great mood. I had just, what's that thing called? Meditated. I meditated, did my 2021 list, or did I do it? Or I don't know when I forget now. I did it all out of order this morning, which is totally fine. But I was in the shower, and every so often, more and more lately, I think about how really amazing my husband is. And I love thinking about that because it puts me in such a great mood. So I think about my husband, and I think about, gosh, how polar opposite my two marriages are. Like my first marriage compared to my second marriage, and how they're just polar opposite. And how I want to say grateful, even though Abraham's not a fan of gratefulness. I'm very appreciative. I'm very like, holy hell, how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I get this amazement feeling of like, wow, the universe is so freaking awesome. Like I didn't have to do so much work. I didn't have to, like, I made a list years ago of like during my divorce, I made a list of characteristics. I wish I could find it. I bet I could if I bet I know exactly which notebook it's in. A list of characteristics I would like, because back then, you know, I was following the traditional law of attraction teachers of, oh, you got to write it down. You got to ask for it every day. You got to read your letter every day. You got to do all these things every day. You got to ask. Basically, everything is about asking. That's what I got from most of the biggest law of attraction teachers is like, you got to ask all the time. You have to ask for what you want. Well, you only have to ask once. And most of the time your asking is unconscious. It's during a time that you're going through a rough time, you are automatically asking for what it is that you want. So you don't have, like, please don't do this every day, because you're in step 1 every day if you're doing that. So anyway, so I always thought that I had to ask every day or whatever, right, to get what I want. No, you don't. You don't. So how do you attract? Okay, so the end result is happiness. So my marriage, like I am really, like I know that this is very special. I know that it's a very unique thing to have an amazing marriage and an amazing husband. I know how special that is because I see a lot of people who don't have that. Now there's a ton of people who do. I have met many people on my path that have amazing husbands. So I know it's possible. Like, I know it's possible. I'm not the only one, that's for sure. But I know how crazy it is out there. I know how much people tolerate craziness and lots of dysfunction. People tolerate it way too much. I don't tolerate it at all. Like nothing. I don't tolerate it. I don't tolerate craziness. I don't tolerate negative feelings. Like they need to go very, very soon. So whenever I have them, they're like done soon. So anyway, so I was thinking of all that this morning and just how like, wow, it's just so cool. So the outcome that you want is happiness. Like you just want to be happy, right? You just want to be happy. I had years of major depression. I had years, over 20 years of major depression with suicidal thoughts every single day for over 20 years. And now, like, that is not even a thought. Like, I don't talk about it. It's like such a rare thing that I say it because I understand the law of attraction, and what you focus on is what you get. So I don't talk about it. I don't talk about my story. I don't buy into the marketing crap out there that's like, you have to story tell about your past and where you came from every freaking day. No, you don't. Like, that's how you have a roller coaster of a life, is talk about your past all the time. There's so many things that I don't recall in my life anymore. I don't need to remember all these things. I'm recreating my memories with different memories because it doesn't matter. Like none of it matters. I don't want to recreate my past. My past is the past. What I want is to create the future that exactly, practically exactly how I want it. Very successful, very abundant, very happy, very loving, very blessed, very all those things. And if I carried my crap from the past to my future, it's not going to happen. I'll just have this roller coaster of a life. And goodness, I want to say F that. That's what I want to say. Okay, so outcome is happiness. So how do you attract happiness? How do you attract? So like attracts like. So you have to be happy now. To get to the happy ending, you have to be happy now. So it's all about this unconditional happiness. And this is one of the concepts that I adore. It's daily. It's a daily thing for me to remember that it's unconditional. That I get to choose how I feel. And it's work every day. It's a little bit of work of Okay, well, I'm not going to let that get to me. So unconditional happiness. So how do I get to happy? I have to be happy now. Because if I'm happy now, I will attract happy, more happy. So isn't your happiness the most important? Absolutely. It is the number one thing in my life, is to feel happy, is to be happy, to have a happy life, because it feels good. And I know that, like, if I talked about my past, that I won't feel happy, because it's law of attraction. If I talk about my past, it will reactivate the vibration. It's not anything about like getting over your past or working on it or processing, good Lord, what are we processing? Trust me, that is one of the biggest words in therapy. Process your feelings. We're not, let's not go there, but we're not processing anything. We're reactivating. Processing is reactivating emotion, reactivating a vibration that creates emotion by thinking about things. I smelled dinner already. So Roger is making stuffed peppers, and he says it takes a while to make them, but I smell food. Now my dog smells the food trying to get out of the door. Holy moly. He just started it like 20 minutes ago. We smell it, huh, Gizmo? We smell the beef. So anyway, when you're happy, your point of attraction is in alignment with the things that you want, so it's in alignment with the things that you want, because all the things that you want equal the end result of happiness. It makes sense, right? So when you're happy, so you do all the things that you can possibly think of to make yourself happy now. Now he's scratching at the door because he wants out. It smells good out there. So the end result is happiness. So you got to find ways to be happy now. So stop focusing on the past. Stop talking about the past. Stop talking about all the crap that you don't want anymore. So that's the first thing. Don't watch the news. Don't do any of that. Don't do any of that for a while and see how you feel. And then focus on the things that give you happiness. Like hanging out with my dog gives me happiness. Doing my work, like all the different things that I'm doing, makes me happy. I do them because I like them. So doing that, hanging out with my husband sometimes, watching TV, watching shows, having dinner, eating chocolate, all the things that make me happy. I focus on those. And then law of attraction brings me more things to be happy about, which are the things that I want. Follow your bliss. Okay, so the third sentence is, see how it goes. Follow your bliss and the money will follow. So when you're happy, you attract. So money brings happiness too, right? It's not like money buys happiness, whatever. That's what some people say, some people argue, whatever. It brings some happiness in that moment, right? Whatever it is that you use the money for can bring happiness for a short while. Absolutely. You can have fun with money. With buying things, you can have fun with it, whatever. So, but when you're happy, so the end result of using money on things that you love, that you have, that you find to be fun, is happiness, right? So when you're in alignment, when you're feeling happy and carefree, when you're feeling happy, you're not worried about money. When you're not worried about money, you attract more money. Got it? So when you're happy, you're not worried about money. You can't do both at the same time. You can't be happy and worried about money at the same time. It's two completely different vibrations. So when you're happy, feeling carefree, feeling, good about everything, in that moment, you are attracting everything good, including money. So that's why when you follow your bliss, the money will follow. When people say to do that for kind of like work, it is like that. If you do work like a job or whatever, because we have to occupy our time. There's nothing wrong with working, because there's 24 hours in a day and we got to do something in our time or else we'll be bored. So we want to do interesting things. He's like losing it. He wants that door open. So we want to do things that spark our interest and give us things to do during the day. So if you do the things that you love to do, The money will follow. If you're not focused on the money, if you're not focused on like, oh my God, the money's not happening. Where am I going to find clients? Blah, 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 all that stuff, right? Like that's what hinders the money from coming in, is being worried about money. When you're worried about money, it does not bring money in. It's not the right vibration. Okay. I'm going to let you go because it's Easter and we smell food and I got to go get the ETA on dinner. So I screwed it up the other night. I guess dinner was like 5 minutes out and I thought there was a lot more time. So I started my podcast and then he kept pushing it back and then it just got all weird. And it's only because he just didn't speak up and tell me, hey, it's going to be ready in 5 minutes, because he wants me to do my work. He doesn't want to interrupt my work. My dog's like panting because he wants out so bad. Okay, guys, have an amazing rest of your Sunday, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.